Throughout its conception, our trip to South America had a loose plan. Between the Amazon, Patagonia, and the jungles, cities, and mountains that spatter this enormous continent, it was hard to pinpoint the perfect itinerary for the roughly 2 weeks we had allotted for the trip. One thing was for sure, we couldn't do it all. We wouldn't even come close. But there was one destination that stood out among all of these. One place that, both literally and figuratively, loomed over everything in all the areas around it. We knew, no matter what, we had to return from this trip knowing that we had set foot in the lost city of Machu Picchu. I'll tell you one thing, however, getting there would be no walk in the park. Apparently there's a landslide or something. That's what 38 miles will do to you. If you want to go to Machu Picchu, this is where you start. Cusco, a small city nestled in the Andes, just a quick hop from Lima. One that's made a lot easier if you didn't spend the previous night drinking in Rio at Carnival, but I digress. I'm sure that's not a mistake that we will make again later on.
First impressions, my man?
This place is sick.
Yeah.
As soon as we stepped off the plane, I was like, this is gonna be fucking cool. Also, I just took about 7 steps outside of our hotel and I'm out of breath. Cusco is an amazing place. It is a hub for mountain exploration, filled with stores selling mountaineering gear and tours of the surrounding range. Our time spent experiencing this awesome little city was shorter than I would have liked, but our sights were set on the attractions nearby that drew us here in the first place. Our trek to Machu Picchu would begin in a couple days, and coming from sea level, we would have to acclimatize to the elevation quickly. The perfect solution to that problem was an acclimatization hike to Rainbow Mountain.
Pete, what'd you get us, buddy?
The goodies. Good stuff.
Yeah, show me what you...
I don't know,
Only the essentials?
Beer was in Spanish, so I felt like it had to be.
Only the essentials.
Sweet beer. Cusqueña. It's got a picture of Machu Picchu on it, so it's gotta be good.
That's pretty sweet.
So yeah, we'll drink these at the top. We'll probably get really fucked up from one beer. It's 16,000 feet. And all will be well in all else.
Wari, for example.
We were able to book a driver the night before to bring us out to the trailhead. The drive out was about 2.5 hours of small Peruvian towns and beautiful winding mountain roads. Our driver was kind enough to teach us about each town's specialty along the way, everything from food to clothing to even specifically bread, some of which he was even kind enough to buy for us to snack on along the way.
Yeah.
What do you rate it?
Scale bread to bread. Good bread, mild bread. A 9.1.
He introduced us to Peruvian music, taught us about the surrounding valley, and some of the local traditions and celebrations in the area. His incredible hospitality certainly made the drive fly by, and also did a great job of distracting us from the consistent overcast that we feared might bring some weather that could ruin our hike. Well, we've officially made it to Rainbow Mountain, at least the base of the hike up to it, I guess. This valley is fucking unreal though. I am super gassed. This hike started at about 14,500 feet, and we're only going up. We're going up about 15 or 1,600 feet. It's not too bad, but I am a tired boy. We're just gonna keep trucking and get to the top.
Heart rate is jacked through the ceiling. And I am no longer at sea level.
It's like 100 steps, breathe, 100 steps, breathe. But we're getting there. We're pretty fucking close now.
Holy shit.
Hi friends, it's been a few hours since we returned from the Rainbow Mountain. Super sick hike, super sick day. I'm very tired. It was not the easiest expedition in the world. We checked in for our Machu Picchu trek, which starts tomorrow. Actually, it starts in like 4 hours. We have a 2 a.m. pickup time. So we're trying to put all of our stuff in. They gave us these duffel bags. We can't bring our actual bags. We had to drop those off with them. So we're trying to figure out how to pack everything up with all the camera stuff. Also, we tried to wash some clothes and stuff just like, there you go. Stuff just like, for whatever reason, has not been drying in this Airbnb. So we're like putting stuff on the space heater over there and hoping it dries in the next like couple of hours here. As packed up as I can right now and try to get some sleep here. Thought I'd update you. My head hurts. I got altitude sickness out the waz, but I'm feeling mostly okay. We'll see how tomorrow goes. But yeah, we'll catch you bright and early in the morning. Good morning, friends. It's just before 6 a.m. Currently, we are somewhere in the Andes Mountains. Somewhere. Pretty fucking wild. We just got out of the van. That was one of the more wild drives of my life. We had fucking half a mountainside come down, just giant boulders in the road. We had horses to get past. Jesus Christ, look at this. Come on now. Yeah, craziness. Anyway, we were supposed to be getting a ride to our campsite to start this trek, but apparently there's a landslide or something, so the van can't get by. So we got all our bags and stuff, and we gotta walk. Our guide said it'd be about an hour walk. So we'll get moving. We got breakfast on the way once we get there. I am very excited for that. Very in need of that. But yeah, this is beautiful. Dodge the mud here. You got anything to say about this current experience?
Dude, we're in it. I'm loving it.
Trying to stay away from this stuff.
Good work, man.
After a quick and frankly cold breakfast, we would be back on the road. Now relieved of our duffels, we were feeling fueled and light on our feet, and we were gonna need it, as our guide, Owen, would explain to us that the next portion of the hike would be notably difficult. Coming up was a fairly brief but quite steep incline he referred to as the Gringo Killer.
There started the Gringo Killer, to the left.
The Gringo Killer. All right.
Let's get it.
Let's go. The tiring climb and labored breathing would be well worth it, however, as we found ourselves taking in the most dramatic view of the day as we approached the summit of the Salcante Pass.
It's a good day.
now we're gonna say thank you so much to Salcantay to arrive very good. This is the Quinto, Hanan Pacha, Kai Pacha, and Uku Pacha. Anyay Salcantay, Anyay Machu Picchu, Anyay Ausangate, Anyay Himantay. This is our offering to Salcantay and for the Pachamama as well. The first short
I feel that.
always is for the Apus, for the Pachamama. Pachamama means Mother Earth. Anyay Pachamama. The first short always is for the Pachamama. Cheers. Salud. Obrigado.
After the summit, the following 2 days of our trek came and went with plenty of walking, plenty of rain, and plenty of shenanigans.
Oh, you want to dunk? Oh, you want to dunk?
I don't know what they do without this fucking wall of rocks around their collection of rocks.
Oh, wait, are those are buildings? Oh, my Lanta. Everybody, we're gonna eat. What's for lunch?
That is a great question. Probably one pancake.
Dude, the sun.
So basically, we are in the Amazon.
You're killing it.
It's day
You're killing
10. We've had no food for 10 days. No sleep. It's basically a challenge to see who will last the longest.
Who are we gonna eat first?
We're actually in the Darien Gap right now. You should go there. They have a
After about 30 miles, however, we would find ourselves finally at our base camp for Machu Picchu, a quaint little town known as Aguas Calientes. On top of being one of the coolest looking towns on the planet, Aguas Calientes offers two huge pieces of infrastructure that make accessing Machu Picchu much more feasible. Number one is a train station, allowing travel from Cusco, but we walked. Number two is a bus system, allowing transport from the town uphill to Machu Picchu itself, a path which, despite my gripes, we would also walk. Now, the wise traveler would take the day to explore the town, get some food, and call it a night to be well prepared for the early morning hike up to Machu Picchu. However, in case you haven't pieced it together yet, Hunter and I are not the wisest travelers. We spent the night before perhaps the most important morning of the trip, singing karaoke, drinking, and enjoying a cigarette or two with our guide. You can imagine how we paid the price the next morning. We're late. Despite our mistakes, our lack of sleep, and the headache that was now terrorizing me, after 40 miles, broken boots, and plenty of blisters, we climbed the last 1,200 steps up, caught our group, and finally got our chance to revel in the magnificence that was Machu Picchu. And it was fogged out. Like completely, entirely fogged out. You couldn't see your feet if you were standing straight up and looking straight down. Feeling defeated, we made our way through the remaining structures, unable to see much at all, until finally arriving at our last peak to climb of this journey, Huayna Picchu. As we made our way up its 1,000 steps, we clung on to hopes that we would see just something from the top. But to our dismay, upon reaching the summit, we realized that visibility was no better than it was at the bottom. Well, we're here. Machu Picchu is somewhere right there. We had had enough. We gave up and began our return to Aguas Calientes. During our descent, however, we realized a change in the ancient city in the clouds. Skies had begun to clear, and we began to get a peek at what we had been seeking all along. wasn't what we had imagined. We never got the crystal clear view of this world wonder, free from other tourists and fog like we had dreamed of. To be honest, we never fully encapsulated the feeling that we were living in this piece of our history's history. The crowds and clouds prevented that. But when you spend 3 days navigating rocks, jungles, and cliffs, you find yourself parsing through a lot of thoughts to try to avoid thinking of the pain that is riddling your feet and legs. And among those thoughts is the realization that it's time for new boots. But also, the realization of why you put yourself through these things to begin with. If I could go back, I wouldn't change a thing. I would take the whole trek with fog, rain, and discomfort included. I wouldn't take the train to Aguascalientes or the bus to Machu Picchu. I wouldn't go to bed on time. I wouldn't drink one less beer. At the end of it all, the most prominent memories I have of the experience aren't of the views or the spectacle of Machu Picchu itself. They're of the people I walked with, the stories I heard, the perspective I gained. So, if you're gonna hike to Machu Picchu, this is where you arrive. On a train, drained of energy, hungry, and yet feeling so incredibly full.